5 rounds of interviews, and they had candidates talk to ChatGPT. That's what they did. They did not speak to potential front office staffers and executives for 5 rounds of interviews that they had them do with a computer. Now, I would tell you that I think this is the future in broader terms, okay? This is where we're headed.
Yeah, not with me, but go ahead.
But I think that this is sort of indicative of all the problems of the Red Sox because you can't play the games in the AI bot.
AI doesn't solve problems.
I mean, you can do it. Don't get me wrong. You can play it fantasy sports in there all you want and create all the characters and players you want. But the reality is the game that we still care about is the one that is played by humans every day, and it requires a high level of performance, and it requires the right mental space and everything that goes with that. And to function, you still need people to do it, but not in Craig Breslow's world because he just doesn't have the interpersonal communication skills to be a leader, to be a guy that runs an organization. Yeah. He can't even conduct an effing interview.
It's probably the same, though. Like what's worse?
Stiff.
What's worse?
Truer words have never been spoken. Craig Breslow is a stiff.
What's worse? Having AI interview him or just having the wrong person in your building conduct the interviews that doesn't know what they're doing? Like, I don't know which one's worse. And I do know this. Like, when I reach out and I'm trying to get in touch with Bank of America over something or, say, National Grid or AT&T, they say, let me ask some more questions of you to get you to the right. No. You know what I do? I go, and I keep pressing 0 because I want to talk to a real person. That's what I want. Well, we need more information. No, you don't. Press 0. Give me the operator. Now, can you believe that you would be applying for one of these jobs? And here, all of a sudden, like maybe you did some interviews with some other teams. And I'm getting interviewed by a freaking computer. What do you think is the job candidate? Beetle, you went to a game this year. You fell in love with the catcher and pitcher because you were there to see it with your own eyes. Now, you could look at a spreadsheet and it might tell you that pitcher and catcher are pretty good. But you said, wow, there's something different with these two. Imagine being a scout or a baseball up guy going on the road. But you really wouldn't have to watch a game and just look at numbers because it takes the people, personal skill, the one-to-one person interacting out of it.
But when you hear that there is no team and that the pieces in the front office don't fit together and everybody is isolated and there's no great lines of communication, this explains why.
Yeah.
This tells you why that is. Because they're not able to identify people that can be a part of a team. And I think that goes right down to the actual baseball team. They don't know how to build a team. They don't even know how to build a staff in the front office. They don't. They have an incapable guy running the organization. He is incapable of human interaction, incapable of addressing the team after trading away the star player on the team. Because why? He doesn't understand the impact that it might have. It may not impact some players, but it may impact others. And it's worthy of having a conversation with the team about. Why did you bother flying across the country to just say, I'm available like it's office hours? And if you do that, here's why you do that, and you don't think it's weird, because you don't understand that there might be individuals in the room that say, I don't want to cause a stir by going in and talking about it. I'll just stay silent in the corner. And then what do you create? More isolated people within your organization, yeah. Dummy.
Yep.
This guy might be brilliant. He might have the mind of the AI bot, but he shouldn't be in charge of people because he isn't one. You effing stiff. Oh, I love that so much. Now, that needs to be a Barstool t-shirt. Can we get that done, El Prez?
That effing stiff.
Craig Breslow's an effing stiff. I'd like to see that one soon, if you don't mind.
But then doesn't that go to John Henry as well in terms of being a checked out owner? And now you've got a guy that is not capable of having real conversations and relationships. You just dealt your best bat because you said he's a bad teammate.
He's at least been like that since day one. You know?
That's why John Henry's been running from the media for 5 years.
Right. He's been like that since day one. Like, that's the consistency with him. Like, look how good, like, you feel about the Patriots now with Vrabel. Like, you just watch him out there interacting with players, the way he talks to the media, his interviews. You know, how swiftly they act on things. Well, just, we're creating a new environment. We're getting rid of people. He'll tell you that. Like, that's a guy with direction. It feels like, okay, you feel good about that team. You feel pretty good about the Celtics with Brad Stevens, right? Making moves, communicating, talking. Now, Joe Mazzulla's a little crazy. We love Joe. But you feel good that they're in the right direction with ownership and Brad. At least we think. But now we'll see under new ownership. And the Bruins are what the Bruins are. If you screw up, you know that the front office is going to blame the coach and fire the coach and get another one. Like, that's the way that's going. There's that consistency to the pattern. They have no consistency to the pattern here.
Yeah, I just don't know who in the organization is going to be
They're in open
one
water.
steps in.
They're in open water right now. They're in open water. You had a president on a two-way Zoom talk about past banners and championships and trophies. You want to talk about the player you just lost. Not about that stuff. We know your history. We're not stupid. I know the Patriots won 6 with Brady. He went and got 7. We know the history. I know how many of the Red Sox won since you bought the team. They talk to you like they think you're 4-year-olds. It's awful. It's sad. People want more. People expect more. Here you are. You're starting to feel good about the damn team again, you know? Team got above 500 and whammo. They're not going to spend at the deadline. We talked about this yesterday. And they're not. They're going to let this thing play out, and they're building to next year. That's where this thing's heading. This is a Passover year. Get the kids up, get them experience, and then we're really going to rally around them and go for it next year. Build it around them. That's your core.
I don't know that that's really their plan. I think that's wishful thinking on the part of a lot of people.
Yeah.
That that's what they're doing. I'm not sure I'm emotionally ready to be watching this. Devers getting it started with a double there for the Giants last night in his new San Francisco career. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
It's hard, man. The fact that he went out yesterday and he matched the Red Sox number of hits in Seattle. Both had 2 hits apiece. He went and got 2 hits in San Francisco. And listen, everyone, they lost. They lost just like the Red Sox did. It would look a lot better if you didn't have Abraham Toro hitting second for you. Sorry.
Yeah, a little bit of a problem. And this is my biggest fear with the Red Sox, and that is last night when they gave up the 5 runs early, I said to you guys, I'm like, well, this game's over. Go to bed. There's no hope of them coming back being down 5 runs now.
You go back to their whole winning streak. They were scoring 2.8 runs a game offensively. If your starting pitchers go out there and you got this incredible run where everyone's giving you 6 innings more than one time through, awesome. It was one great week. You look at the other weeks, the entire season, the starting pitching was a consistent problem. So if your starting pitching isn't excellent to the point where you're shutting teams out regularly, this is what it's going to look like a lot of nights. You need to win super close ball games, and it just feels like this team hasn't succeeded for that for 90% of the season. That's why you fall back and wonder, without Rafael Devers, how is this lineup supposed to go? Even for the next 2 weeks until you get Alex Bregman. Like, it's going to be an adjustment there.
All these 1-run losses all year, and you think pulling Devers out of that lineup, that weak lineup, is going to make it better? Yeah, because the vibes are going to be higher. They're going to come together and win a bunch of games. Breslow, you're high. Okay? You're out of your mind. So, and they know it, by the way, because I know that they're modeling and their bots are telling them this. They know.
Yeah.
They're lying to you when they tell you they think that by the end of the season there could be more wins than they would have otherwise had. They know. The model will tell them without Devers how much worse the team got.
In some of the messaging yesterday, Cora starts glowing about this platoon idea at DH, right? With Masataka Yoshida and Rob Refsnyder. On paper, makes a ton of sense. We know what Yoshida does against righties. Refsnyder's a lefty masher. How does that make sense with what you have with the 4 outfielders? Craig Breslow the night before was saying, we like the idea of being able to rotate everyone through. Roman Anthony, Wilyer Abreu, Jaron Durant, Ceddanne Rafaela. How are you going to fit Masataka Yoshida into this thing? I'd love to see how you're going to do it, unless you're going to start getting Rafaela time in the infield.